Hi, guys.
You just had your first scrimmage of spring out there. How did it go?
Yeah, the guys are running around pretty good. I think the biggest part with it now is just getting into situations and, not just putting the ball down and running a defensive play against an offensive play. Kind of learning when it's, hey, third and medium compared to third and long or short. How does that affect us on defense? What are some of the things that we should be looking for on offense? So you get to teach that type of stuff after a day like today, which is great.
How excited were the players maybe to have a scrimmage and have an opportunity to play in front of a small group of fans?
Yeah, I think that the guys have been really pretty good intensity, pretty good tempo, even the first five practices leading up to this. And they went out there with a purpose today. It's a little different because it's Saturday, different routine than our Tuesday, Thursday, and obviously we had last Friday. So, it's been in the morning, a little earlier, I guess, in the morning. So a little bit different. So it was good for them to get out there with maybe a little bit different routine than they're used to and still be able to go out there and play and run around.
Coach, have you seen the growth from your edge room that you wanted to see over these past few days in practice?
Yeah, the parts for me is getting to know these guys and their personalities, kind of how they take different ways of being coached and what's their how do they learn the best, I guess. So that part's been fun for me. And then on the field, as we kind of get used to each other and they understand my drills and the flow of it, they get better and better at it. So that part, it's been fun with these guys.
Let's talk about Malachi Lawrence, a guy who's returning from the team, one of the longest tenured players on this team. Talk about how he's running, kind of leading the edge.
Yeah, Malachi does a great job in the room with the guys. He has a really good understanding of the game of football, not only defensively but offensively as well. He's obviously been a guy that's been around a lot of football and has a very high football IQ, understands the game, how to line up, attack different formations, what different offensive formations are going to stress us, and things like that. So he's been great.
Coach, it's been said that this time of year for you and the players is learning season. You mentioned the players learning a bit themselves. For you, what is it you're learning, and what do you learn from this scrimmage situation here?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun for me to get to kind of be in a different defense that I've been in the last couple. Actually, I've been in about 4 different over the last 4 years. So this is another one, I guess, to add to the list. But it's been a lot of fun learning Coach Grinch's system and kind of how he's put this package together. So there's some learning for me on that on that way, and then. To be able to get the guys and kind of go, okay, hey, here's step A, step B, step C, and how they all kind of fit together, or maybe, we can use each step before to kind of dress up the next one. So that part's been fun.
Does it help kind of relate to the guys that you all are all learning kind of together?
Yeah, I think the guys, it's like the teacher adage, right? You got to stay one page in the textbook ahead of the guys to make sure that you always know more than them. But just kidding on that. But it's been fun to get around these guys, and we're settling in, and we have a pretty good room right now. Guys that respect each other. I think the guys respect the way that each other are working, so that makes it easy to teach.
What's your philosophy about it, Coach Grinch defense? What kind of stands out, learning it? And what makes it different?
Yeah, I think that just the way he kind of rolls this package together. There's some familiarity for me from stuff that we did when we were together 20 years ago, and then there's a bunch of new stuff that kind of goes with it. So just been neat to see the way that he's kind of grown. Obviously, his different experiences and the different obviously we know the long list of head coaches that he's been around and been with. So you see some of that stuff show up throughout this package for sure.
What's your philosophy when you look at the edge position? You bring in a lot of veteran. You have a lot of veteran presence here in that group. What would you like to see out of these guys, and how much coaching is there really when you have an experienced group that's around you?
What are you saying? Don't screw them up. Wow, it's been a lot. It's fun with guys that have a base understanding, because you can. You kind of get out of football 101 and you start getting to the higher level classes, if that makes sense. You get to teach them the intricacies, and not only, hey, do this, but you can kind of get into, hey, this is why you want to do this instead of that, or at this time, this might be a little bit better technique or fundamental than it would have been in this situation. So to be able to have those conversations with the guys is really fun.
I know Grinch has mentioned kind of playing some 4-man front in addition to some 3-man fronts. So how is the learning curve as far as guys potentially multiple fronts?
Yeah, I think defensively nowadays, if you watch any 4-down team, they play some 3-down. If you watch any 3-down team, they play some 4-down. I mean, that's from the NFL all the way down through probably high school. And you have to be multiple. If you just line up and the offense knows where you're going to be, and it's like running plays against trash cans or something, it's going to be a long day for you on defense. So I think that not only do you have to be able to show, being a 3-down, being a 4-down, but being able to maybe move in between the both of them. And then I think everybody kind of the packages grow. All of a sudden, it looks like it's 5 down or 6 down and things like that. So I think that you have to be able. It's a fine line. You don't want to overload guys and give them too much information, too much to think about. But you want to make it easy for your guys, but hard for the offense. So that's what we try to do.
Talk about your process of evaluating the edge room during this spring, and especially during these scrimmages that are coming up. How are you going to evaluate their talent, where they're going to go?
Yeah, my biggest thing is evaluating the effort. I want to see the guys that want to play hard. That's the lost art. Like, it's not the I don't know, fashionable coaching, buzzwords or terms, but when you get down to it in this game, the guys play harder than the other guys for a longer duration, and give you a better chance to win. So I just want to see the guys playing hard, and then we have to eliminate the missed assignments. Oh, hey, I was supposed to take it on with this shoulder. I took it on with that shoulder. I was supposed to drop and I rushed. I was supposed to rush and I dropped. You have to eliminate those as you go through. Otherwise, you can't line up and play. So, those two things go hand in hand. Number one, do I know what I'm doing? Number two, can I execute it at a high level and play as hard as I can? So that's what I'm looking for.
No better way of evaluating that than on these scrimmages we got offense versus defense.
Yeah, it's great going against our offense. Just they're going to give you a bunch of different looks at a bunch of different things, whether it's different formations or plays or stacks or bunches or different alignments and things like that. So you have to be on it. You have to know ahead of time, hey, this is how we're going to adjust, because you can't predict maybe what the next thing is going to be. So you got to be you got to be coaching that ahead of time. Proactive instead of reactive coaching.
Coach, you mentioned there's no real textbook for noticing guys playing hard, but what is kind of something you look for with your experience from your perspective?
Yeah, two things. Number one, it's always, are guys turning and running to the ball. I mean, you have to be running. I use the term, I learned this from Coach McDonald at the University of New Hampshire, and I coached for him years ago. It's a change of speed and or pad levels. It's kind of like you see them and all of a sudden their pads drop. It's like, that's like oh no, the play's still going. So you guys see that on film, pointing out to guys. And then I'll just ask guys, hey, is this as fast as you can run? And if they have pride, they're going to tell you no, and they're going to want to get pushed. So, hey, if that's not as fast as you go, I can't accept that as a coach. Otherwise, what I'm, it's doing a disservice to the player. So, a lot of it's them recognizing, how much more can they give, how much harder can they go. So that's probably the main way to be able to recognize that.
What have you seen from Nigel and Kelly this spring? He's one of UCF's better players last year.
Yeah, the thing that jumps about Nigel to me is that he wants to learn. He wants to get better. As a guy that's playing at a high level, he's got a lot of questions on how can I improve that? How can I get better at that? And that part's been really, really, really good. So he's been fun to coach like most of the guys.
So what about Sincere Edwards? I know he's one of the transfers. He had a standout freshman season at Pitt last year.
Yeah, high motor guy, same thing. Sincere will ask you some more like real hard question, like where you're like, oh, hey, there's some thought into that, rather than an easy, well, hey, that's a first grade level question. He's the other way. He's going pretty deep on that, so that's been fun. And then he plays with a high motor, really doing a great job running around and being fast and physical on the field. It's been fun to coach.
What's the fun and challenges about this? Is one of the most guys returning in terms of groups on the team, the edge room. So you have a solid idea of guys who will play on the field. What are the challenges of going against other groups that are not sure where guys are filling in for that competition?
Yeah, my big thing with the guys is these reps are our reps. This has to be your rep. You got to do it as fast as you can do it. You can't give it to the other guy. So we're going to play to our level and let the guys catch up to us. And if we are, or and sometimes we need to do a better job of doing what we're doing. So I want the guys to worry about themselves individually, and I worry about them. How hard can we go all the time?
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.